Today I have the privilege of riding and reviewing something really special in my opinion. I mean, this bike behind me here is, in my opinion, when engineers and motorcycle designers get together and design something different, something bold, something that brings excitement and thrills back into motorcycling. I mean, the brand behind me here, Indian, has a history and a pedigree of 122 years. Yes, they've had the ups and downs. Yes, it's been interrupted production. But fortunately, via Polaris, over a decade ago, they came back and are just growing from strength to strength. Next is this bike, the FTR Flat Track Racer, pays homage to the 40s and 50s when Indian was fighting it out for supremacy with Harley Davidson on the American flat tracks. Now this is what Stuff of Legends is made of. And here you have a modern day flat track racer, but not only that, the engineers and designers took it to the next level and actually made a sport naked out of a flat track racer. Now, in my opinion, this piece here gets a 10 out of 10 on emotion, on design, on good looks. If you look at the materials used and the equipment, it's a 10 out of 10 again. But before I get ahead of myself, let's have a look at this Indian FTR R Carbon Limited Edition in more detail. Now, just to recap on Indian Motorcycle Company's history, this brand was founded in 1901 and therefore today 122-year-old company and brand. And independent operations ended in 1953 due to bankruptcy, and then operations resumed in 1999. And then in 2011, Polaris purchased the Indian company. Now, during the 1910s, Indian Motorcycle Company became the largest motorcycle manufacturer in the world. And in 2011, the Indian motorcycle manufacturer, the factory, took the first 3 places in the prestigious Isle of Man Tourist Trophy. And the most popular models back in the day were the Indian Scout, produced from 1920 to 1946, and also the Indian Chief, which was produced from 1922 to 1953 until the time of bankruptcy. Now, as mentioned in the beginning of this episode, in the 1940s and 1950s, the Indian motorcycle racers fought for supremacy and dominance against the Harley Davidson racers of the day on the American flat track circuits. And this is where the Stuff of Legends was born and the iconic stories come from. Now, fortunate for us, back in 2016, the Indian Motorcycle Company returned to the flat track racing scene with the FTR 750. Success was immediate, and they have won the 6 consecutive flat track racing series in America, including the last one, 2022. And here they've given us a street legal flat track racer of the highest spec, and they've put a tweak on it. And let's go through how they've put that tweak. They've taken a flat track racer for the road and made it really special. Now, the reason I say this bike is so special, it is a complete rethink of the FTR platform, the flat track racer. It transforms this flat track racer into an upright naked sports bike, higher performing engine and lower was the keyword for the 2022 FTR R Carbon. Starting off, the 19-inch front, 18-inch rear wheel combo was changed for a 17-inch front and rear. The suspension travel was reduced by 1.2 inches. Now what that does for the bike, it drops the center of gravity on the bike, and it drops the seat height for this bike by 1.4 inches. They changed the wide handlebars for the Pro taper bars, which brings your hands 1.5 inches closer together. The handlebars also drop by 2 inches. Other things done with this bike: suspension changed for top equipment, adjustable Öhlins front and rear, black Akrapovic pipe as standard to the bike, upgraded seat cover as standard on this bike, loads of carbon fiber. I'm talking the front mudguard, the full tank, the shroud around the headlight, all in natural clear gloss finished carbon fiber, and rider aids, upgrade, industry first TFT in front, all shared with the FTRS Sport. For the year 2023, this FTR range comes in 4 different models. The standard FTR comes in a black metallic, a stealth gray with orange burst. Then you get the FTR Sport, also comes in a black metallic, also then in a white lightning with Indy red. And you get this stunning carbon, R Carbon if you want to call it, with carbon bodywork with some graphics in it. And then lastly the FTR Rally, which comes in a black smoke. Now having a look at this motor, it is a 1203cc upgraded motor, liquid cooled V-twin 4-stroke, going through a wet clutch, 6-speed gearbox and a final drive chain. This unit puts out 120 horsepower at 7,750 rpm, 117.9 newton meters. Proper upgrade. You can see the exhaust, a 2-into-1 into a 2, finished in a matte black Akrapovic stock standard on this R Carbon. The suspension, once again top equipment, as you can see, Öhlins front, full Öhlins rear, fully adjustable. When it comes to the brakes, once again, nothing spared. 4-piston calipers, dual disc of 320 millimeters at the rear, single disc 260 mil with a 2-piston caliper Brembo. Wheels, as mentioned earlier, they were changed to 17-inch front and rear, shod with a 120 and a 180, and they are lightweight cast wheels. The dry weight of this bike, 217 kilograms, wet weight with a full tank of fuel, 232 kilograms. Fuel capacity in this tank, 12.9 liters. The ground clearance is 165 millimeters, a little bit lower on this R Carbon, and the seat height also lower at 780 millimeters. Just quickly going through the electronic package on this bike. You have an industry first 4.3-inch touchscreen on this bike, powered by Ride Command. I'll show you that now in more detail. You have 3 rider modes on this bike: Rain, Standard, Sport. You have ABS, lean angle sensitive, stability control, traction control, wheelie control with rear lift mitigation, and yes, a FTR flat track racer with cruise control. Also a USB charging point. Headlight, tail light, indicators, LED. Let's have a look at that. Here you see this stunning headlight. If I put on the turn signals, LED, and going to the back, you have this stunning looking taillight. Also, having a look quickly at the touchscreen display, as you can see, I can change it here. There's my one particular layout. I can change it to this layout. Should I wish to change rider modes, one button over here, and I can push Sport, Rain, and I'm going to start on standard. Click the button and off we go. Touchscreen, something really different. If you look here, the bike is limited and numbered. Limited edition number 1375, Indian FTR 1200, and over here Carbon R. All round absolutely exquisite piece. Have a look at this natural carbon in a clear gloss. You got this upgraded seat. It even has material in it that looks like carbon. The only addition to this bike, these side covers, number boards, are an addition. They're not standard on this bike. Other than this, The bike is stock standard with Akrapovic, fully adjustable Öhlins front and back, Brembo's front and back, all the carbon, headlight shroud. What else can I speak about? These handlebar end mirrors are one of the options you can spec when you build your bike, or else you can have your traditional mirrors off here, but I think this is the way to go. What a stunning look with these bars. Should this bike have any opposition, where would you peg it? Where would you put it? Maybe you could say the Ducati Scrambler Desert Sled, maybe the Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS, or maybe the Ducati Hypermotard. But I think this FTR R Carbon by Indian is something really exquisite. And those guys that follow me on my channel, you guys know that I love the numbered and special stuff, so this bike speaks to me. I think let me stop wasting time and talking. I've been anxiously waiting to get on this bike and go for another ride on it, so let me hop on and go for that joyride. Now, before I go for a ride, just to talk about the seating position. I spoke about a naked upright sports bike. I'm sitting perfectly upright right now. I move my arms forward and I grab the handlebars. I don't have to lean forward in any way. I can sit perfectly upright and my hands go here. The seat height being really low, you can see my knee is bent, foot is flat on the ground, the other side the same, foot is flat, knee is really bent. I'm really in control of this bike. The rake to the front, I'm not stretched out over the bike. I can move forward, I can move back and tuck down. There's a lot of space on the seat, so I'm really comfortable. Knees bent, bike is fairly narrow here, tank is flat, looks fantastic, the cockpit is clean, clear. I love these rear view mirrors at the end of the handlebars. It's uncluttered here, gives me clear view up front. Now let's get going. This dash takes a little bit long to fire up, as you can see, but it is real pretty. Full color, 4.3 inch, and all the information is there. Just push OK. Loading the gauges. As I mentioned earlier, I've got this display, that display. Toggling one button, I can move up and down. By just pushing this over here, I can go to range sport, rider mode, change the gauges, music. So I'm going to start in standard and let's go for that spin. Good sound by the Akrapovic. Always nice to have good sound. Whew. Nice torque on pull-off. Very responsive. This is crazy. This is one of those bikes that it is difficult to behave. It's one of those really exciting motorcycles where you want to do a couple of wheelies and stoppies. So it is great to have rider aids should you just want to commute with it and not be caught out. Plenty stonk on this motorcycle. Really goes for it. Feels good. And as I explained, the riding position is so neutral, it's so comfortable. There's obviously no wind protection on this motorcycle, but I don't think it's a top speed runner. I don't know what the top speed on this bike is, but I don't think it is about that on this motorcycle. It's about having fun. I love the fact that these handlebar end mirrors are completely out the way. You can see, if you look to the front, all you can see behind the clock here is that carbon shroud of the headlight. You don't see the front wheel or the front mudguard. It is clean and clear. Handling, responsive, nimble and light, very little input. These handlebars are narrower than the standard FTR by 1.5 inches and a little bit lower. Feels good and such little input. It is a nimble bike, even at 217 dry weight or 232 wet weight, which is fairly heavy, but it hides its weight well. Even pulling it off the side stand, it's very light. I think what we're going to do is go onto the highway a little bit. Brakes are strong as well. have to get used to it because there's no fade. It's really, you can feel good stoppers. This thing could be an enemy to knee sliders. As you roll on, there's plenty punch. I'm going to misbehave here a little bit. And just give it some. Oh wow! Oh wow! This thing just goes for it. Oh, if I tuck in. Oh, okay. Illegal speeds. You'll have to bring me peanuts in jail behind bars. This is proper. So yes, if you want to go for a breakfast run, be a weekend warrior, you won't be left behind. This is not your old school Indian Harley Davidson that you putter around. This motor has proper stonk, and just by rolling on in top gear, it has plenty grunt for you. It is really smooth. The motor, it's not one of those John Deere bangers. It feels good, it's smooth. You can feel vibrations through the foot pegs. It's minimized through the rubber inserts, so it's not uncomfortable. You're not going to get pins and needles, but you can definitely feel when it's time to up change. This thing has enough power to actually have longer legs. Today's a really nice day. The wind is not too bad, so it's not disturbing in any way. But lane change, nimble, this bike you can really flick around. Run on the open road like this, highway speeds, absolutely not a problem. This bike runs. It's fantastic. Splitting traffic here, taking bends, hanging off the bike a little bit. Wow, loving it. Getting myself into a bit of trouble, and off we go. I think that's the problem with this bike. It brings out the hooligan in you. Oh, here we've got a truck. I think we're going to misbehave again. Let's do it, because that's what this bike's made for. There we go. The suspension soaked that up properly. There is no problem with this. Fantastic motorcycle. I apologize for my riding style. It's really, this bike wants me to play. It wants me to misbehave. It really wants me to pull wheelies and stoppies, which I shouldn't be doing on the road. I shouldn't be overtaking on the yellow side, but lane verge of the road, it's just, wow, what can I say? Woo! This bike just makes you want to play and go a little bit wild. Whew, I must detune it a little bit. No, really, you can ride this bike sedately if you have a lot of self-control. It's just the riding position is very relaxed, but it sucks me into this, let's be 16 and 18 again, you know, let's just push the envelope a little bit, let's not be boring. It's just so much fun. I'm gonna double back on to the highway because I want to try some twisties. Look at this pull-off. This bike, oh man, this is crazy. This is fun factor, I think 11 out of 10. This is something really special. I don't know, very seldom that you get on a bike that you instantaneously feel at home, feel comfortable. This is the bike. I feel like it's my daily commute. It feels like, I don't know, I feel like I've been riding this bike forever. I'm instantly at home, at peace with this bike. It hides its weight well, it feels light. Even when I took it off the side stand, it was really light. Comfortable. I'm at ease, I'm at one with this motorcycle. And here we go again. Just, it's all about misbehaving. This bike is so much fun. So, in short, I think ideal commuter if you have a lot of self-control. As a weekend warrior, this motor has plenty stomp. You will not get left behind. Yes, if those superbike guys are doing over 200, you will be left behind a little bit, but in the twisties, you're with them, you're on them. And just all around, the seat is firm. It's really firm seat, but not uncomfortable in any way. You don't slip forward or back. You've got enough space. You can go really forward on the tank, put your elbows out, adopt a bit of a motocross style. You can sit right at the back where the seat flicks up a little bit, give yourself more space, move the feet forward. The foot pegs are not as far and as high up as a superbike, but sort of in that guise. Back, sporty. I think it's a flat track racer, like they say, with a naked upright sport bike. So, but I mean, it's what can you say about a bike like this? That's why in the intro I said it gets 10 out of 10 from aesthetics. It gets a 10 out of 10 on the good looks, the design, the ergonomics. I am super comfortable at my 6-foot frame. When it comes to equipment on it, it's 10 out of 10 again. What more do you want than Brembo's, Akrapovic, Olin's? It's all there. Where have they omitted anything? Industry first, touchscreen on a flat track racer. You're gonna slip off here. You can see direction change. You can do last minute direction change, flick it from left to right. It's just spectacular. And a bike that I just picked up this morning, after 10 kilometers, you're at home on it. You're at ease with this bike. You can throw it around at speeds. I mean, I must respect. So Indian Motorcycles, Santon, really thank you so much for trusting me with this motorcycle here. What a stunning baby. Those of you who follow my channel, you will know that I have this fetish for numbered bikes, rare bikes, limited bikes, and here you have something limited edition, 1375, a carbon. Look at this. I used to nickname this Italian plastics because the Italians just did everything in natural carbon. Everybody had hydro dipped stuff, and here the Americans, they just know a good thing when they see it. Whoa, rolling on, the power just makes you smile. Carbon fiber, it looks good, it looks great, offset with this traditional maroon color, which is in my opinion the traditional Indian color. What a fantastic motorcycle. I'm gonna rave about this. I'm gonna have sleepless nights about this motorcycle. It is such a, I don't know, call it obscure bike. It's not in the public eye. It's not as popular as it should be. I think anyone who gets on one of these is just gonna fall in love because it fits you like a glove. You sit on it, you just want to ride all day. You don't want to get in a car anymore. I have absolutely zero strain on my lower back, zero strain forearms, wrists. I'm sitting upright. The seat is great, the suspension is great, combination, firm yet comfortable. Look, I don't think it's a commuter you're going to run for 3 hours, but the way I feel right now, yes, why not? I'm just absolutely in love with this motorcycle and don't want to get off it. Whoa. This is a bike I'm going to rave about. I have been on many special bikes. I have ridden many special bikes. I own many special bikes in my collection. But this is unique. I mean, you have bikes that are super bikes. You have naked bikes. You have sport bikes, rat bikes, classics, vintage, cafe races. And this is sort of a combination of a few. I think the closest thing I've ever felt to riding something like this would be the Ducati Hypermotard, and I must say I really like that bike, but there is something about this FTR R Carbon Indian that is just, I have to say, as an enthusiast, I'm not a journalist as I always say, I review and ride these bikes as a pure enthusiast. I love motorcycles. I love riding motorcycles. I love getting on them. Traffic lights out, we can be cautious. I just love everything about motorcycles, motorcycling, and the lifestyle. It is just absolutely brilliant. And this bike is creme de la creme. See how it jumps over everything. I sit back, have a look at this cockpit, the matte finish on the clock, no reflection, easy to read. You can make it brighter and dimmer. Clocks are clean and clinical. The brakes are strong. There's no fade on these things. You can easily do stoppies. The dash is clear. Oh man, I don't know. There's everything on this bike. Have a look at this. Cruise control, heated grips. You can absolutely go wild on this thing. And the looks, it is a fantastic motorcycle. I'm loving it, and I'm actually thinking, should I sell something in my collection to get one of these, or should I just wait and save a bit? But yes, I think a flat track racer FTR needs to be in the collection. It is just a fantastic piece. It is smooth. I'm rolling it. There's no rocking like with the Gootsies or Boxer motors. Plenty stonk on this motor. Torque is there. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this review and the short ride on this FTR Indian Flat Track Racer R Carbon Limited Edition with me. A superb, stunning bike. This thing gave me smiles. Unbelievable. If you enjoyed this episode, please remember, hit that like button, give me a thumbs up. Most important of all, guys, please hit that subscribe button to help me build a channel. And if you like, the reminder bell so you always know when I'm uploading new content.